What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I appreciate the support. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. I'm excited to keep firing off these videos for the rest of the year. So go ahead, share it with your friends, your family, your friends, whoever may be interested in learning more about quarterback and college football this season. I appreciate it.
Take it from him all there, mate! First place to the left!
We're talking the most interesting man in college football, Diego Pavia of the Vanderbilt Commodores. What an interesting story. Junior college to New Mexico State to Vanderbilt, calls his shot before the season. We're going to be national championship contenders. Are they going to make the college football playoff? We'll find out later this week and into next. He's going to go win the Heisman. Well, he's got a chance. He's probably going to go up to New York. We'll see if he's holding the trophy.
That Heisman pose in the corner of the end zone a little bit earlier. What does that mean?
Take me to New York, you know?
He walks into Neyland Stadium, says that they run the state now, and they do just that. Beat them 45-24. He throws for 268, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's what comes with the Diego Pavia experience, but 165 and a touchdown on the ground. Head coach Clark Lee signs the extension Friday. They beat up on the Vols on Saturday. Offensive coordinator Tim Beck played a pivotal role in Pavia's success the last 2 years. I played for him in 2021 at TCU. He was our assistant quarterbacks coach, former D2 head coach at Pittsburgh State in Kansas, now leading that Vanderbilt offense as the coordinator, does some really good stuff. Different wrinkles in the quarterback run game, throwing the football down the field in the play action pass game has been a big part in Diego Pavia's success at Vanderbilt. Let's get into the tape from Saturday, see how he took over Neyland Stadium and beat up on the Vols. 3rd and 3 here to start the game for the Vanderbilt Commodores and Diego Pavia. Tennessee is playing cover 0 against this empty formation look for Vanderbilt, meaning they're going to play man-to-man coverage across the board with no safety help on the back end. Vanderbilt's offensive line is in a 5-0 protection. 5-0, meaning they are blocking man-to-man across the 5 guys in front of them. This right tackle blocking here, right guard here. Center is on the nose, this left guard accounting here, left tackle here. Meaning, if this off-the-ball linebacker blitzes, Diego Pavia is hot, has to get the football out of his hands. Vanderbilt is in a concept here where they're going to have a locked hitch at the top of the screen, 5 yards and stop, a slot fade, a whip route by this tight end, and then their switch release verticals if they zone out of it for him to go through. What ends up happening is that linebacker comes, Diego Pavia is hot. This tight end right here, this is a tight end running a route like this, former quarterback, really low to the ground, good change of direction, good ball placement there from Diego Pavia for a first down to start the game. 3rd and 17, Vanderbilt's in 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, starting in 2x2. Tim Beck, offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, uses a great job with motion, pulling guards, making plays look similar, but then creating a different variety in the concept itself. They're going to motion this receiver wrapping around the quarterback here. The coverage that Tennessee is playing is cover 2 to the field. This is a deep half safety, a cloud corner playing the flat. This linebacker safety is pushing, this nickel here is pushing with the motion, and this is a poach safety. Poach meaning that he's playing the backside, trying to poach anybody that runs across the field like that, and he's going to go ahead and pick him up. This corner right here ends up locking on with the tight end. Really cool design here from Vanderbilt, leaking the running back up the seam here. This receiver is draining those guys out, and then you're going to have a lake leak by the tight end. You see the running back up the seam. He's covered. Guy trailing him. Safety over the top. This tight end is wide open. The ball should go there 10 out of 10 times if this were to show up. He forces the football into his running back. Not there. Throws an interception in the red zone. This is something you cannot do, especially playing at the next level. If they play in the college football playoff and he sees this again, it cannot happen. 2nd and 10 here for Vanderbilt. They're running a switch release 4 verticals concept on both sides where these guys are going to exchange responsibilities. up here. He's going to slightly bend, and they're exchanging here at the bottom of the screen. Now, these receivers here that are running inside will bend versus a 2 high safety shell and keep the seam versus a 1 high look. Tennessee is running a cover 3 weak simulated pressure. A simulated pressure is when you play the same amount of defenders deep and underneath as you would if it was a base look, but they bring somebody and exchange responsibilities. Now, what I mean by this is this offensive line is accounting for these 5 players. Watch what happens here. See those guys drop out and this linebacker come, meaning this is the back's responsibility. And they're still getting to a 3 deep, 4 players underneath, so it's a simulated pressure. This is where Diego Pavia does his magic, makes everything right here. Spins out of it. You see the running back leak late. He spins out of there, finds his back for a first down and an explosive play, a big reason why everyone thinks he should be heading to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. 1st and 10 in plus territory for Vanderbilt. They're in empty again. Tennessee, you see these arms going up here, raising their hands. They're getting into their empty check. Defensive teams go into games with maybe 2 to 3 empty checks that they're going to create a variation for the offense to see. This is a really cool design by Tim Beck. Diego Pavia runs the football a lot. They like for him to carry it in quarterback designs runs. So let's create some RPOs off of it. They're going to run a form of quarterback power in empty. They're going to pull this guard around, but they're going to have a little pop pass from the tight end here. And Diego Pavia is reading this Mike backer. If the Mike backer commits to the run, he's going to dump it over his head right behind him for an explosive play. If this linebacker tries to carry this tight end, Diego Pavia is going to run right up that middle and fill the void that the linebacker would have if he vacated that run fit. We see what happens. This linebacker commits. Diego Pavia dumps it right over his head. Wide open Eli Stowers up the middle of the field for a big-time explosive play to set them up in the low red zone. 1st and 10. Vandy's in 12 personnel, 1-2 tight ends. Tennessee is playing a variation of cover 3 where they're going to have a single high zone safety, single high corner, but the different variation is this corner into the boundary is locked on man to man. Vandy's in a tight bunch alignment here, and they're going to run a play action pass off of it. Diego Pavia play fake out of the pistol, sees that he has one-on-one coverage to the top of the screen. This is his 2nd interception of the day. You see him take a little extra gather at the end there. This ball needs to be out of his hand if he's throwing it, or it needs to be a different type of throw. Now, this receiver's not helping him out a ton. You see how close to the sideline he is. He needs to get back and stack this corner, getting back on top of him to run down this line to allow Diego Pavia to throw him over the shoulder or a back shoulder throw. Doesn't give him very many options here. But Diego Pavia lets this ball go. It doesn't have enough juice on it. It does not have enough arc on it. In the quarterback world, we would say this needs to be a 3 ball, big up and down. He throws it a little bit too flat, underthrown. Corner sees it in the air, plays the ball. Easy interception for Tennessee. Something that wasn't so great. Needs to be a better throw from Diego Pavia. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line right before the half. Big momentum switch for Vanderbilt. They're in 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends. Tim Beck does a great job using motion to his advantage. Helps Diego Pavia know this is man coverage. You see this corner running over here with the receiver. I know that it's man-to-man. Tennessee is playing cover 0 hole, meaning they're playing man-to-man coverage. No safety help back here, but there are going to be hole players in the middle of the field playing off the quarterback's eyes, trying to get in throwing lanes and potentially tip a ball or intercept it. Now, what does Vanderbilt do to combat that? They play an 8-man protection, meaning all 7 of these guys plus the back, 8 guys in max protection. Vanderbilt, really good concept. Corner with a quick slant underneath. Diego Pavia could throw it to either guy. But what I love about this slot receiver is he knows how fast he is. He beats him with speed, doesn't mess around with his release. You see the flash fake. Excellent throw to the sideline. He runs flat with speed rather than throwing it over the top. That's a really long throw. Throws it on a line, beating the defender with speed. Huge touchdown for Vanderbilt before the half. 1st and 10 in the second half. Vanderbilt comes out in 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, 1 receiver, 2 receivers, and a running back. This is an inside zone run with an RPO from the receivers. And what the quarterback is taught here in Diego Pavia, this is a numbers game. We have 5 offensive linemen, a tight end, and a tight end to block these Tennessee defenders. So we have to find the 8th defender. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have outnumbered us inside the box. It is time to throw the football. It's exactly what he does. He sees this 8th defender commit to the run. They're going to have a glance on the outside that Diego Pavia is throwing to. Good separation, good throw up the field for an explosive play. 1st and 10, another RPO for Vanderbilt. They're going to motion this back in a scat motion to the flat. It's either going to be a screen to him or Diego Pavia is going to run quarterback draw. Now, who he's reading is this backer here. If he decides to run, then he's going to take off and go. If he plays the run, then he's taught to throw the football out here and play the numbers game where they have 3 on 3 and let the back go to work. But this is a little wrinkle. This backer pressures. Diego Pavia gives him a little pump fake. Nope, I'm not going to throw it. But this will backer is pushing to the field, opening up a huge running lane, and Diego Pavia does the rest. His playmaking ability, this is really, really good stuff. The savviness out of him to be able to do it. Now watch the end zone shot, and you can see the pump fake a little bit better. Reading this guy right here. Sends him in motion. He's not going anywhere. His first thought is, hey, I probably should throw the ball. Nope, he's running up the field. I'm going to give him a little pump fake as his will backer pushes to the field. Nope. There he goes, doing the rest. Special stuff out of number 2 in Knoxville, Tennessee this past weekend. 3rd and 6 at the plus 30 for Vanderbilt, starting this tighter formation and exploding out into empty. Not sure what his progression is being taught here, but this is the route concept. They're running crush into the boundary, which is inverted smash. This is a stemmed corner route by the outside receiver, a flat route. Now on the backside, they're having a stick with a speed dig where they would high-low this defender right here. A lot of times it could be an across the board where they're starting on one side and working all the way across. Or it's a, hey, how many safeties are there? And then we're going to pick a side and work. Tennessee is playing a cover 3 variation with a simulated pressure. Again, simulated pressure. They end up bringing the backer, but they still have 3 deep and 4 underneath players right here. So it's simulated pressure. Not sure what Diego Pavia is doing. He's got his eyes all over the place. If he were to be working this field concept side, he would see that this backer or end dropper attaches and the speed dig is wide open right behind his head. He's all over the place, but he makes up for it with his playmaking ability. He takes off for a first down, an explosive run for Vanderbilt. Although, if you want to play on Sundays, this is something that you have to clean up. You're not going to be able to just take off and run like this. You have to play through your progressions, but nonetheless, at Tennessee in college football, he makes up for it with his playmaking ability. 2nd and 10 on their own 30. They're in 12 personnel, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends. Really good stuff from Tim Beck, offensive coordinator, using Diego Pavia in the quarterback run game, but throwing wrinkles of RPOs off of it. This is an interesting way to get to a pin and pull concept where they're going to pin, this tight end's going to pin these guys down. This play side guard pulls, and this back is the second puller. Now, what the RPO is, hey, if you have man-to-man coverage, especially press, and we like our speedy guy here at the bottom of the screen, Let's go ahead and take it. You see that he's following his pullers per se, attacking down the field. They're playing cover one, single high safety, man to man across the board. He throws it on the run to his speedy guy, over the shoulder, an absolute dime. But what a cool wrinkle from Vanderbilt to get another explosive play down the field for a first down. 3rd and 6, Vandy playing in a lot of empty this game. You see the condensed formation here, the 3-by-1 condensed, and also condensed in the 2-by side at the top of the screen. Now you see all of these defensive players for Tennessee walked up. Diego Pavia most likely has a plan versus pressure, but if they drop out to it, he's playing his concept. Tennessee is playing a coverage here called cover 2 invert. What that means is instead of the safeties playing as the deep half players and the corners playing the flat, they're going to switch that. These corners are playing the deep half, and then these safeties are playing the flat. Still cover 2, technically 2 high safeties, but they're exchanging responsibilities. Now, Vanderbilt's in a perfect play versus this coverage. They're running a spacing concept meant to attack zone. And he's going to work inside out. You're going to have an Omaha on the outside, which is a speed out of condensed. You're going to have a little spacing concept, a landmark route. And Eli Stowers, former quarterback, has a really good feel for defenses. Ball's out of Diego Pavia's hand as he's turning around. And he gets north and south immediately as he catches the football to split these Tennessee defenders for a big first down for Vanderbilt late in the game. To put the cherry on top of the Heisman campaign for Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt, let's finish with some quarterback run game. But still, good design from Tim Beck. They're going to motion this receiver across the formation. Nobody runs with him all the way across, so they know that it's not man coverage. Now, what this does do is puts this corner right here into the run fit right at the line of scrimmage, and the safety is playing up here. They exchange run fits. Now, what this does is they're going to run this similar pin and pull concept where the tight end is going to pin down. Some people might call this a form of quarterback counter. The play side guard now is pulling for this corner. And Diego Pavia is going to follow this back as the second puller. And this little hesitation from here pauses this safety just enough. And he sets up the block for this other offensive lineman to pin him in. And he does the rest to score a touchdown. Now watch from the end zone shot. It's a thing of beauty. They're going to motion him across. Here he goes. Here's the corner now. This guard is pulling around to take on this corner. The back is wrapping up for this backer here. And this offensive lineman is able to seal the safety. But look at the hesitation. Right there. Allows 53 to get outside. Tennessee safety shoots right in. And Diego Pavia does the rest, taking it to the house. His final touchdown of the regular season for the Heisman campaign. He will be in New York. Now, will he win the Heisman? I'm not so sure he will. He's got the stats to back it up. He's got the marketing team to do it as well. I don't necessarily see him as a guy playing on Sundays in the NFL at quarterback, but what an exciting college player. His story from junior college to New Mexico State to Vanderbilt and taking the country by storm is really, really special. He's an exceptional college player, don't get me wrong. And some exciting stuff out of him now going to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.